I want to welcome everybody to our workshop today. It's entitled Building an Enterprise, Preparing for Expansion Through Intentional Growth. I think it's a very nice tie-in to our Choose Growth theme for Team Summit. My name is Mike Alexander. I'm Operations Manager at Stratus Dental. With me co-presenting today, Kendra Zern, Human Resources Manager, Aaron Anderson, Finance Manager. I also like to introduce Drs. Eric Roman and Clifton Cameron from Carolina's Dentist, who are going to be joining us for a little bit of Q&A at the end of the presentation. Now, their names are not up there because we had a whole slide just for them a little bit later. We didn't want to just put you little names. That's what I thought, but that's what I wanted to tell you. I want to tell you this right now. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's great to see. We have lots of leadership here. All my bosses, CEO Brandon Dawson, so it's always great to present in front of the CEO of the company. Super exciting. All right, here we go. When I was 13 years old, I played in a youth orchestra in Los Angeles. Second violin. Looked a lot like that. Now, for those of you who don't know, in orchestras, for every instrument, they have a first chair and a second chair. And the first chairs usually play the music that you can actually hear, right? The overarching melodies. The second chairs, like me, we played a lot of the background music, right? A lot of the bum, 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 right? But it's important for the overall composition, but it's not something you're going to hear unless you had a trained ear. But I didn't mind. I like that. You know, I'm not someone who needs to be out the front. I like to be in the shadows. I wasn't good enough to be at first violin, so it was fine with me. But before every big orchestral presentation, performance, the second violins had to learn the sheet music for the first violins. Why was that? Well, just in case a first violin, couldn't make it or something happened and the second violin had to step in. But I never bothered, right? Because what are the odds? Right? What are the odds that first chair violin Daniel Kim would fall and break his wrist in 3 places on the morning of the spring concert? What are the odds? So I get to the auditorium, and I see Mr. Brown, the conductor, run up to me. Michael, I'm so glad you're here. Let you know that Daniel Kim can't make it. Something happened. I need you to play first violin today. Could you please go sit in the front of the orchestra? In the front. How many of you have heard Mozart's Eine kleine Nachtmusik? First movement, Allegro. Hands up. Hands up. Oh, a lot of people know that one. For those who don't know, you probably have heard it. It goes like this. Bum, 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 bum. There is a lot of first violin in that piece of music. So, in shock, I take my seat at the front of the orchestra, and I'm starting to shake a little bit, and I'm starting to feel the nerves. I can feel the white-hot light just on me, right? I get starting to sweat. I look out over at the audience. There's 1,000 people there, right? And I look at Mr. Brown, and he already scares me, right? And at the best of times, and this is not the best of times. So my nervousness is starting to rise, and I open up the sheet music and stare at the first violin part for the first time in my life. And I have no idea. So now my panic has risen to a point where it's basically a crescendo of panic. Do you see what I did there? Crescendo? And I'm looking for an exit. I'm looking for an exit. I'm running, I'm looking around. I'm saying, well, if I just sneak out here, is anyone going to notice? Maybe there's an exit right there. Maybe I can go. But before I have a chance to move, Mr. Brown lifts up his hands, and we all lift up our instruments, and we start to play. So I'm not going to bore you with the gory details of what happened next. All right? Suffice to say that I mangled Mozart's beautiful composition. And I still wake up in a cold sweat 25 years later thinking about that day. When the time came for me to step up, when the opportunity came for me to do something I hadn't done before, I was woefully unprepared for it. How prepared are you for the growth and expansion opportunities that are going to come your way? Do you have an enterprise, a business that is optimized, a platform for growth where you can grow sustainably with intention? Or are you going to be like the kid in the front row under the white hot light, panicking because he can't read the sheet music? Today's presentation is about preparation, preparing for that growth, so you're able to grow from strength, not weakness. So here's the agenda for